Hello, this is J.N.S, and today I really wanted to talk to you guys about some very important things that are weighing on my heart and on my mind. And I wanted to, in particularly, talk about this phenomena of resonance. Resonance has obviously been a term used in physics before, but with me, I'm making the claim emphatically that resonance is the fifth governing law of the universe. So we know we have four governing laws of the universe. You have weak nuclear force, you have strong nuclear force, you have electromagnetism, and you have gravity. And I am emphatically making the claim that resonance is the fifth governing law of the universe. And this is something that I have discovered on my path of transcendental meditation, as well as quantum entanglement through that transcendental meditation and astral projection. So I want to talk about resonance and it's the role that it plays in the universe, the role that it plays in dimensionality, as well as the role that it plays here on this plane as what we call planet Earth. And whatnot. So, in addition to talking about resonance, because we're covering resonance because it's a phenomenon that can be applied to you on an individual level, that can help you understand your state of consciousness, that can help you transform your state of consciousness. But also, I want to talk about resonance in regards to what has been going on with me the last couple of weeks. And it's been a lot that has went down for those that are into spirituality, for those that are into metaphysics, the occult, the esoteric stuff, however, whatever term you want to use that makes you feel comfortable. But for me, this, from my perspective, this is a very heavy path that that I have chosen, regarding me being a priestess, regarding me being a natural teacher, natural spiritual intuitive, and being someone that follows a certain path of esoteric knowledge as a chaos esotericist. So that being said, there has been a lot that has went down over the last 3 weeks. I'm not going to really get into names. I'm not going to really be getting into details because for the sake of my own protection, as well as just to not alarm people about certain things. But for this is videos for those who know. So this video is going to be very coded and shrouded. But if you are aware, if you are perceptive, if you are any level have any discernment, you will be able to decode what I'm saying. Many of you have been directly involved in what's been going on with me. So you will know exactly who I'm talking about, what's going on and whatnot. But I really wanted to bring you, before we get into my personal experience of what I've been dealing with and everything, I want to bring you some teachings, some occult teachings that is meant by me, that is created by me, and then we're going to get into resonance. So, uh, I wrote up a little brief document about resonance, and I want to actually just verbatim go over it with you, because what's happening is a lot of my energy is being siphoned. A lot of my teachings are being blackballed, extremely, extremely shadow banned on levels that have never been seen before. I did not realize that these teachings were that dangerous, to be honest, because a lot of the things that I do is on an intuitive basis. I'm not initiated in anything. I don't belong to any particular third dimensional orders. Now, there are orders that from the spiritual realm and from an ancient realm, yes, in terms of dimensionality, yes, there are things that I have access to, and orders that I'm aware about, that my bloodline has access to. But in this particular dimension, this parallel celestial entity that I am now, that is not necessarily the case. So I'm not under the parameters of certain control mechanisms. There's been attempts to do that. Obviously, there's attempts to control me, my message, everything that I say. But I don't have any apparatuses that can currently stop that unless there was some type of brute force enactment or something severe was to really happen, which to be honest has been attempted. So these teachings that I talk about when I talk about the resonance, when I talk about the Nakti philosophy, when I talk about the Nakti Queen Mothership, when I talk about Atlantean Freemasonry, when I talk about the laws of gender regarding electromagnetism, the age of the divine feminine, biospirit consciousness, particularly black women, black men, celestial parallels in terms of beyond just humanity, but intergalactic consciousness beyond space and time. I had no idea that these teachings were like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? To me, this is just common knowledge. And in my world, this would be something that it should be freely known. And so this information that I've been given out is extremely enlightening, and dangerous for the average person in terms of them being able to deconstruct matrices, them being able to never externalize that part, but to go within and to really just explore those processes within that can obviously catapult their consciousness to levels unseen before. And so I'm just now realizing like the totality of what I have created over the last 3 years in my body of work and how powerful it is, to just be frank. In addition to just some of the more mundane things of life that I talk about regarding Black American empowerment, self-determination, self-efficiency, autonomy, those type of things. That's also another message of mine. Intentional communities based on silos of consciousness. All of those things are in addition. It makes me stand out like a sore thumb in terms of humanity or even living species, regardless of whether you're human or not. But all of that makes me kind of look like like a bullseye target on my back. And it's like, who is this woman? What are these teachings that she's talking about? How do we bury this? How do we take this? How do we capitalize off of this? And how do we get rid of her? And so that is what I've been dealing with, honestly. I've been dealing with that, and I've been trying to maintain. And in terms of maintain, I'm talking about the make sure that my work does not get stifled, make sure that my message does not get stifled. And so that's been harder than what I could imagine, but I am obviously up for the challenge. I have every will to survive. I'm definitely one of those ones that will keep going no matter what. And so that's what I'll say. But as far as these teachings, I've been told, and people have always been wanting me to put this stuff behind a paywall. They're like, why don't you put your teachings behind a paywall? Why don't you be quiet about your teachings? Why are you putting this stuff all out on the internet freely? This is supposed to be for, the select few. You got to put it behind a paywall, behind a paywall, behind a paywall. I keep hearing that. And to me, saying that to someone that is an egregore entity of a higher vibration, that doesn't compute. Like, I understand what people are saying, like, oh, get your money, go and teach and, whatever, get this money. To me, and maybe there's some validity to that, and that's something I have to learn. I don't necessarily value that paradigm, that construction. With me, I am just someone that is in a transient space in this universe that is like, I've done this before in other lifetimes. Go to different universities and teach and give out the information and just keep it moving. And so with this particular plane, it's been very difficult on planet Earth. It's been extremely difficult because the vibration is so incredibly low. If I'm being frank, and people can get upset and be like, oh, you're elitist, you think you're better than us, blah, 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 blah. I really don't care at this point. The vibration on this planet is incredibly low. People, they look to take, they derive their systems from deception and jealousy and pain. They derive their mechanisms and their decrees and their codes of conduct from deception, from again, what they can get out of a deal, and what can they trade, what can they bargain with, what can they steal, what can they, it's an energy that is very low governing to me. So I'm not used to it, and I'm not used to people wanting information to be hidden from the masses, or people wanting knowledge to be stifled from people so that they don't have power, so that they don't reach a new level within their own self. I find like I don't come from that realm. And so I want to give some background as to why I say that, because obviously it's like, well, you've been on planet Earth like the rest of us for what? You're 31 years old. You've been on the planet for 31 years. And so, yes. However, when you talk about quantum entanglement, when you talk about resonance, when you talk about this idea of interdimensionality within an experience of consciousness, uh, you can be in parallel universes simultaneously and very aware. And you can have access to information throughout those those parallel universes, in which you are literally in a different space and time, learning about a certain set of information. For me, that was learning about very ancient practices, very ancient teachings, various laws of the universe from very powerful, powerful, powerful entities. And obviously that's in the dream state. Just as something as simple as the dream state, when you go to sleep and you can travel and you can explore very in-depth levels of the subconscious mind, different archetypes of the consciousness, of the collective consciousness within the subconscious mind when you're sleeping. And in that regard, you would be tapping into information and realms. And so when you wake up and then you're back in your body and you're back in the 3D realm, then you just do whatever you're doing, school or work, whatever I'm doing, that needs to be done. So it appears as if, okay, you're here and you've been living this mundane life like the rest of us. And for many of us, that's not the case. It's just not. And so I have a hard time code switching pretty much on this planet. And then, we all know that planet Earth has moved from third dimensional realm, has moved from fourth dimensional realm, has moved from fifth dimensional realm. There are sixth, seventh, eighth. I am beyond seventh dimensional consciousness on this planet Earth, and it's not just me. Now there are beings now that are now at the seventh dimension, even though planet Earth is adjusting. It's adjusting itself from fifth. We're at the fifth dimension, and so many people have made that shift from the fifth. Their body is lighting up, their mind, their consciousness can handle it. And again, it's not so much about a race, it's not about a gender, it's not about a look or who gets access to what because of you have this or because you grew up this way. This is about something much deeper. And so, this planet itself is not flat based, it's not globe based, it's interdimensional based. And so you're going to have different planes of silos of consciousness on planet Earth. That you do have people that are still on 3D. You're gonna have people that are still on 4D, and you're gonna see it. You can literally see who's on which vibration, and then you can see someone on the 8th dimension and the 10th dimension and beyond 20th dimension and literally beyond that. And then sometimes you could be in a physical body, but then your consciousness is literally in a different dimension that is beyond space and time, that is infinite. And so then if you're able to get to those levels, and then you're still physically trapped in this on this plane of Earth-based consciousness, then you're going to have a severe problem relating to people. You're going to have a severe problem relating to humans, relating to your surroundings. But that doesn't mean that you're not sane. That doesn't mean that you don't that you can't continue on with what you're doing. It just takes a debriefing, and it takes a recalibration of your resonance and of your energy as a person. So let's talk about resonance. And again, resonance is a claim that I'm making. I'm emphatically stating that it is the fifth governing law of the universe. I am emphatically stating that. And I have discovered that through transcendental meditation and quantum entanglement, through astral projection, through occult practices. Now, people may say they get scared of the occult, or you're a witch, or you're this. I'm not a witch. I am just Kali J.N.S. I am someone who just wants to spread love and light and peace and wisdom and knowledge and joy. And that's it. So I don't want people to think like, okay, you're into devil worship, you're into all these weird things. Oh my gosh, we can't talk with you. No. I'm very transparent about what I do and who I am. If I was into sinister stuff, you would know it. But you would have the evidence by now. I'm a very open book. My life is pretty much on full-blown open display in the occult world. Now I am just not realizing that. And I didn't even know that, but in the occult world, people actually know who I am. And yes, I have been officially blackballed, but it's okay. So let's talk about what resonance is. So resonance, I'm just going to read verbatim to you. Resonance. Let me actually. Okay, so we're good on time. I want to make sure we're good on time. I want to make sure that because I actually have some grocery coming, and so I want to make sure that I don't get disrupted while actually. Okay, so let me get the grocery, and I will be back. Okay, thanks for your patience. Let me just make sure that we are good. Okay, yes, so I had to get my groceries, so we're good. And yeah, so I want to now talk to you about resonance. Again, I in past, throughout my YouTube videos, you can hear me talk about resonance briefly. Like I'll say, oh, we need resonance, and everything is about your state of consciousness and resonance with like-minded people. I always say that, but I never got into depth of what this phenomenon means. And so I want to teach about it, and the reason why I'm very much, wanting to be more I want to show more ownership over my intellectual property, over my material, because there are organizations and people that are outright attempting to steal my teachings and bury me, take my stuff, and then move me out of the way. And so I became aware of that over the last year, and I'm not letting that happen anymore. And so I will put stamps on my intellectual property, timestamps, name stamps, whatever I have to do to protect my work and my shit. Because it's getting real out here. It's getting real for us that are chosen. And a real special lady, she said, the chosen ones choose themselves. And that was so emphatically deep to my soul. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. The chosen ones choose themselves. The ancient ones, those who, we're back. And it's like, we're being told, you have to be quiet about certain things that you cannot say this, you got to be under an oath, you got to do this deal. And we're looking like, like deer in headlights, like, what the fuck, what are you talking about? Like, we are totally used to being out in the open with who we are. And, there's a price to pay with that. There's a price to pay if you stay out of the system and you decide to, walk your own path of enlightenment and integrity. There's a heavy, heavy price to pay for that. Possibly even death. That's how deep this gets. And for me, it's like they have sent the message a couple of times, like, look, you need to chill out, with your teachings. And it's quite sad because it's like, damn, like I didn't know that, this prison planet that they got running here. I mean, I'm kind of like, damn, I cannot wait to go back to the dimension that I am from. And many of us, many of you, you have different, intergalactic allegiances and DNA and genetic markers and whatnot. And so, and some of you have a multiple, so you may come from various star systems and constellations. And then it gets even more muddled because you may rightfully have been put on this planet to actually have a very powerful position. And what's happening is that though you're the heir to a very particular powerful royal throne or powerful position, they still want to control how you manage that position. And so some of us are dealing with that as well. And I am particularly one of those people that is dealing with that very much so. And again, I'm speaking in occult language. I'm speaking in code. So this video is not for the average person. A lot of the people that's following me, you know yourself that you are on a certain level. You know yourself that you understand certain information. So, it gets real for us. It gets real, and it's been a journey to maintain, our true selves in this system. And again, as an ancient one, And I'm going to say it because I know that the powers that be listen to my stuff. I know that everything that I say now from here on out will be monitored for the rest of my life based on some of the things that I have been demonstrating over the last 2 weeks. But I'll say this, the ancient ones, we're kind of very open with who we are, so we can't relate to like the secrecy of like we have to hide and behind the scenes or whatever. It's like, you don't know. Like, this is who we are. You lay down and you stay down or you get the fuck sprayed down. And, we're here to teach and help you along your path. And we are very much loving and very much truth tellers. But, it's like, no, that's not the way that things are run here. It's like, you have to go through this weird order. I respect rank, I respect institutions, I respect tradition, I respect order. I do not respect deception though. That's where you lose me. I can't get with deception. I can't get with lies. I can't get with bullshit. But if it's about order and rank and tradition and honor and bloodline, I can respect that. And again, if it sounds a little discordant, I'm talking to those that are on my level, that know what I've been going through, that's been going through the shit with me, or they have some direct ties into this occult war shit that's been going on for the last 3 weeks with me. Okay, so that's what I have to say. Again, I come in peace. I come in. I know I can be obnoxious. I know I'm not the most humbled person. I have been humbled, and I am humbled generally throughout my whole life. I lived a very modest life, and whatnot, and I generally seek to help my fellow brother versus my own self-aggrandizement. I'm very much of that nature. However, I don't like being gaslighted about my genius and my brilliance. I don't like being deceived. And so part of the issues that we're having as far as in the spiritual realm with a lot of the things that has been going down, that's what I've been dealing with. And so this concept of resonance leads me to the reason why I talk about resonance so much is because it plays a role in what's been going on for the last 3 weeks. And resonance, let's cover it. So resonance is the quintessential governing force of the universe. It has been unlocked through the profound discoveries that I made in the realms of quantum entanglement and transcendental meditation. Within the intricate workings of our brain, quantum mechanics play a pivotal role, and consciousness itself operates on a quantum level. So the fascinating concept of quantum entanglement arises when elementary particles establish a profound connection, behaving as one entity despite being separated by vast densities or in distances. So consciousness in its enigmatic nature exhibits the extraordinary ability to exist simultaneously in 2 different dimensions, okay? So you could be one area, then another area, and you could be acting, and a lot of people, they be thinking, okay, it's Holly J.N.S, oh my gosh, she is possessed. She is possessed by the devil when she gives us these teachings and these scenes, or if she's mental or whatever. But that's quantum entanglement, very much so. For those who wanted to know, like, what the hell happened, in terms of a situation that went down 2 weeks ago. So during the moments of transcendental meditation, one can attain a state of awareness that is not bound by the limitations of space and time, while remaining intricately entangled on a quantum level. Remarkably, this phenomenon finds expression in a myriad of experiences, including astral projection, remote viewing, meditation, parallel universes, and even time travel. So all of those things are quantum entanglement. So when you're astral projecting, when you're remote viewing, when you're meditating, when you're visiting parallel universes, when you're creating different dimensions, and when you're time traveling, whether it's in the future or in the past, that is quantum entanglement. All of it. It's a phenomenon. Okay, so I want you to be very clear. Okay? And indeed, consciousness manifests itself through those diverse avenues and channels. Okay? That's how you express your consciousness and transcending conventional understanding. However, for those who have embraced a dense level of existence and lack of perceptive awareness, when you witness someone In quantum entanglement, it looks like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with them, or you won't understand it. Okay, so in unraveling the profound implications of resonance in quantum entanglement, we are granted a glimpse into the intricate fabric of the universe, where the boundaries between the tangible and intangible blur. So yes, realities can start to blur, and that's where you have to be very, very careful in managing that. And that's what I'm learning. I'm learning to manage that, because once those tangible and intangible dimensionalities blur, then you can really screw up there, it can really screw up. And the marvels of existence cease to be combined by traditional paradigms. Such revelations not only expand our intellectual horizons, but also inspire us to question the very essence of our reality. Okay, so resonance is the quality and sound of being deep, full, and reverberating. So think of resonance as reverberation. Okay, and resonance is a silo of consciousness, so it's a reverberation of a consciousness in interdimensionality that is based on being complementary. So what is interdimensionality? That is universes within universes, simulations within simulations. Okay, and so your resonance is based on that reverberation, based on that silo of consciousness. Okay, but that is complementary. And resonance is the fifth governing law of the universe, because all phenomena on this planet must resonate to its complementary force and energy. Okay? Complementary force and energy. So I'm reading this verbatim off a little document that I wrote up yesterday. And remember, all dimensions in the universe, whether it's parallel universes, exoverses, multiverses, omniverses, originate and maintain itself based on resonance. Yes, you have your electromagnetism and whatnot, but these dimensions, they create itself based on resonance. Your silos of consciousness based off of what is complementary. Okay, and interdimensional consciousness is what we experience, the knowing of being in other life forms of dimensions, again for that same exchange of energy. So resonance must move towards the greater evolution of consciousness. All resonance. So you can have a resonance that's based on a certain type of morality, that's based on a certain type of essence of free will and whatnot, whatever that resonance is on that dimension or that planet or that universe. It all must evolve towards the greater evolution of consciousness for the entire universe of creation, or what people call source, or what people call the Godhead, the ultimate God, or whatever you want to name it. If there is no resonance towards the highest forms of love, truth, peace, enlightenment, freedom, intelligence, and auspiciousness, then it is viewed as low governing force in the eyes of the universe, or what humans would consider bad. Your definition for bad would be what the universe considers low governing force. For those of us of a certain set of consciousness, though, we just see that as a force that's useless. We don't necessarily say bad or evil. We just say it's useless to the official cause of the greater collection of the Godhead. It's useless. It's dead weight, and that's how we use it. And so resonance comes in. Resonance, remember that energy that is reverberation based off complementarity and a silos of consciousness on that interdimensionality. Resonance always seeks to remove low governing force from the universe so that the final goal of God expressing itself for the benefit of all creation can manifest. So remember, resonance creates the silos of consciousness based on interdimensionality. Okay, so now let's talk about a little bit more about interdimensionality. That will vary in terms of the laws of those specific universes. So interdimensionality, remember, those are just universes within universes, dimensions within dimensions. And the laws for those specific universes will vary. You have different morality systems. You have varying degrees of free will. Some of these dimensions will have no free will. But again, there is a higher order governing all of this entire system of resonance that removes low governing force as determined by what leads to the success of what the entire creation of God. Okay, so in its relentless pursuit of the ultimate goal, resonance acts as a cosmic purveyor. Okay, that's what I want you to think of resonance as cosmic purveyor, seeking to remove low governing force from the universe, allowing God to express itself for the benefit of all creation, to manifest fully. Okay, so we are only doing this for the benefit of all creations, regardless of what species you are, regardless of what morality you have, regardless of what, this is, we just, it's like, look, this is a cosmic purveyor. This is a energy that is going towards a certain level of height, not low, height and consciousness of love, freedom, truth, wisdom, intellect, innovation, progress for all. That's it. And so, the intricate interplay of resonance creates the silos of consciousness within the vast landscape of that interdimensionality, and it's a grand symphony. It's orchestrated by resonance that echoes throughout the cosmos, leading us to the understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. So that's why you talk about, oh, we have this interconnectedness. Resonance connects that, sure. Resonance connects that, but it also creates silos of consciousness too, because you have the resonance of the higher order all moving towards the Godhead of truth and liberation and freedom and enlightenment for all and love and peace. And then you have the resonance that is encapsulated within that silos of consciousness based off of that interdimensionality. So I know that, again, that for the average human, these teachings are like, it takes time. It takes time. And I do know that there are people that can understand these things, very much so. But right now, I'm a little early. I came quite a bit early, and is there some regret there with that? It's made my life hard in extreme ways, in terms of, like, stifling my message and stifling me from external forces. But at the same time, this is what I do. I create phenomenon, I teach phenomenon, I explore depths of consciousness, and I seek to help other humans and other species on their path. And so that's all I know to do. That's what's encoded within my essence, is teaching and loving and demonstrating that enlightenment. And so, it's never my intention to downplay other people. It's never my intention to use knowledge as a weapon. Never. How can I use knowledge as a weapon? What power do I have? I mean, I have spiritual power, but, like, what moves can I really make that can actually be weaponized against any particular species? And so, I've been accused of weaponizing powerful knowledge and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm just a transient being that is giving out information. I haven't weaponized anything. If I was going to weaponize, I would make myself rich overnight. I would make myself, in certain, on a certain level, with the information that I know, but I haven't, because my focus has been teaching and peace and love, literally. And so I want to talk about now resonance, how it's connected to electromagnetism. So we're going to get very, very deep here, and we're going to get very alien-esque. But I think you'll be able to follow me, hopefully. So resonance and electromagnetism are closely intertwined phenomena that manifest in various physical systems in the context of electromagnetism. Resonance occurs when a system's natural frequency matches the frequency of an external force or electromagnetic wave, resulting in a significant amplification of the system's response. This phenomenon plays a crucial role in a wide range of applications, from simple radio receivers to complex circuitry and communication technologies. So remember, resonance, when we talk about, like, this radio frequency waves and communication technologies, this is all interdimensional. It really is. But you guys feel like, okay, we got the Wi-Fi, we have, these radio satellites. This is all a part of a interdimensional experience. It's not globe-based, it's not flat Earth based, it's not universe external from planet Earth based. No, it's all interconnected through resonance. That's why I keep saying resonance is the fifth governing law of the universe. And so in electromagnetic systems, resonance primarily arises from the interaction of electric and magnetic fields. When an alternating current, AC, flows through an electrical circuit and generates an oscillating magnetic field around it. This magnetic field in turn induces an oscillating electric field, forming an electromagnetic wave. The frequency of this wave is determined by the frequency of the AC source. When a separate electromagnetic wave with the same frequency interacts with the circuit, resonance can occur if the natural frequency of the circuit matches the frequency of the external wave. This is akin to pushing a child on a swing at just the right moment. It amplifies the swing's motions. In the case of resonance, energy transfer between an electromagnetic wave and circuit becomes highly efficient, resulting in a significant increase of the amplitude of the oscillations within the circuit. One notable example of resonance in electromagnetism is the phenomenon of radio reception. In a radio receiver, an antenna picks up the electromagnetic waves or different frequencies. The receiver circuit is designed to have a variable capacitance which can adjust to match the frequency of the desired radio signal. When the circuit reaches the resonance with the incoming radio signal, and it efficiently extracts and amplifies the signal's information, allowing us to hear the radio station clearly. Resonance is also a crucial concept in magnetic resonance imagery, MRI. Okay, so that's another way you can. I just wanted to give you some example of like, how does resonance relate to electromagnetism? You're talking about, resonance connects to electromagnetism. You must prove low governing force is the first step to really understanding interdimensional consciousness. And so I wanted to get that to you. I know it's a little dry and boring, but study this. And now let's talk about more about low governing force and resonance. So remember, resonance is the reinforcement or the prolongation of frequency by reflection from a surface or by the synchronous vibration of a neighboring object. Remember, we talked about reverberation based on that complementary energy. And resonance is key in determining one's state of consciousness and dimensions in the nature of universes. Again, silos of consciousness, in regards to resonance, it expresses itself on planet Earth in a very specific way. And I'll give you an example. I'll just give you one example. So let's think of like the animal kingdom of carnivores, the creatures that eat other creatures to survive. You have the lion, you have the jaguar, you have the tiger, you have the cheetah. These creatures have a resonance that express itself in nature, in brute nature, where they must eat other creatures to survive. And that isn't a type of resonance. This is a resonance of the carnivore. Their silos of consciousness is their resonance. It's how they survive. They take more than what they need. It's very important. These animals, they have a resonance where they understand they take more than what they need. They do more than what is required to survive. They don't get hung up on greed. They don't get hung up on delusion. They focus on their resonance. So while they have the ability to eat other creatures to survive, if people say like, that's the animal kingdom, would that be considered low governing force? That is not considered low governing force in the eyes of the universe. The same can even be said for celestial entities that survive based on consuming other species. Again, if this is the only way that you can survive genetically, and literally, then this is not a low governing force in the eyes of the universe. However, when it is done outside of survival, when it is done for your own personal self-aggrandizement or to take from someone else so that you can gain, in a way that is unfair, that is deceptive, that is when imbalance happens. That is what creates low governing force. So now let's talk about humans and human-like species who have free will, whether they consume animals or just eat plants. Some of us are carnivores, some of us just eat plants and do both. Again, the universe is concerned with resonance, connecting to electromagnetism for the highest good of the entire total creation. So if you're doing what you need to do to survive, then it's not low governing force. If you're doing what you need to do to survive, it is not low governing force. If you're doing it out of false delusions that are not based on truth, that are not based on nature, or taking or doing more than what is needed to survive, then you create imbalance and low governing force. The universe will use resonance to remove low governing force, all for the sake of correction and balance, not condemnation or for self-aggrandizement. It's just business. Okay? The universe wants to express itself in the highest form of integrity, enlightenment, love, intelligence, innovation, and common sense, logic. While it is okay to explore the opposite of these things in a free will planet, because there's planets that don't have free will, just so you know. There's planets where you only operate at love and peace, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then you have planets where you can explore other different resonance beyond love and peace, very much so. And planet Earth was actually one of those. And while it's okay to explore the opposite of those things in a pleasure-like sense, it was supposed to only be done as a fast track of a silence of consciousness and evolution towards the highest auspiciousness. It was always supposed to be, you were always supposed to be consciously aware of what you were doing, and you were always supposed to be consciously aware of that you were fast tracking your evolution towards the highest good of auspiciousness for the universe. If one does not bring themselves to a high level, then again, that resonance will remove low governing force from the universe, and it will dissipate or transmute back to love. So it recycles back to all what consciousness and interdimensionality was created for. So that is resonance, guys. I wanted to clear that up because, again, I see people scrambling like, I'm telling you, like, in this occult world and in the world where people have spiritual power, it gets real. It gets busy. Like we be up there, like, you know how you be seeing them pictures of Archangel Michael with fucking swords in their hand in heaven with swords, and they going back and forth, and the angel kingdom and the demon kingdom. You like, that shit is really real. Like, we really get busy in the astral realm. And if shit go down and stuff plays out in the third dimensional realm, where you'll see certain things playing out, you know. And with me, I can admit that though I'm ancient, I can be obnoxious. And in my physical form and in my lower self, I can be very immature. And so, you know, I don't necessarily handle things the right way. I can admit that. But the spirit of what I said, or whatever I said, was true for whatever I put out there. Oh, I meant it. I don't back down from that. But I also understand that you have to have some coof about the things that you say and the people that you involve, you know. And I understand that. So want to get more into, like, a little bit more about me, because, you know, there's narratives being painted about me as, like, you know, this typical black woman that wants to control, that wants to do hood rat stuff or whatever. You know, I get the messages from, you know, the intergalactic realm about what's being said and done about me, you know, and whatnot. And I'm still here, as you can see, you know, and it's for a very specific reason. But, you know, I have to answer for a lot of the things that have been said about me. And I know, again, we're talking about a different dimension. So obviously on planet Earth, it's like, nobody knows you. Who are you? You know, where nobody's checking for you. You don't have that big following. That's fine. But I'm talking about the spiritual realm and the occult world. And for those of us that has been playing in that realm, you guys know exactly who I am. Let's be real. You guys know exactly who I am. And, you know, a lot of things has been going down. So it's like, I want to explain myself in terms of, like, why do I call myself, you know, the chief architect of the universe, Kali J.N.S. Why do my teachings now have that title on there? Like, who the hell are you to call yourself the chief architect of the fucking universe? And so I want to say that this is an occult title for, again, my ancient order. And chief architect of the universe, it's just a title. It does, you know, it's an anointing given to certain women chosen by, I guess, from a human conception, that would be the Holy Spirit. You know, the Holy Spirit, and ultimate lightness and ultimate darkness to usher in balance throughout the universe when there is severe imbalance in particular silos of consciousness. Remember, silos of consciousness is represented by planets and planes and dimensions, and particularly planet Earth is the one that we're dealing with in this lifetime. And when I say ultimate darkness, we're simply talking about melanin cosmology, carbon, you know, nothing sinister. So when we say ultimate darkness, we're literally talking about melanin cosmology, raw potential, creative energy, chaos energy. Dark, chaos, creative energy. That's it. And when we talk about ultimate lightness, that just means absolute self-awareness of logic and reason. Absolute systems-based thinking, kind of. So that's all that means. Because, again, this is what this stuff has always meant, but a lot of our teachings was perverted throughout the times. A lot of the stuff comes from melanated women. Not only have our own sons botched our fucking teachings, but then you have other species and other, you know, entities just completely just botched our teachings. And they think, oh, ultimate darkness means the ultimate low governing force that the universe can possibly ever imagine. And it's like, no, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not what that meant ever. Sorry. And so in the ancient order that I am from, which was an order that focuses on protecting the divine feminine, it's so some of the first ancient species that created a lot of the other species, including the humans, the other entities, whatnot. And humans, you know, obviously is an egregore of various genetic markers that have been created as a... I'm not going to get into that because, again, there's stuff that I know, and because I'm not sworn to any third dimensional oaths or organizations, then it makes me dangerous when I start just spewing all of my stuff, from the realms that I come from, so I have to respect that, but I also have to protect myself. I have to protect myself because it's like I'm the one that has to deal with the hammer, for giving out certain information, even though I can freely do that. I'm the one that I have to deal with the threats and the veiled threats and the gang stalking and the targeted, nonsense that I have to deal with, and the gaslighting and the attempts to suppress my brilliance and genius. I'm the one that have to deal with that. So I won't be getting into everything that I know. Unfortunately, I wish I could, and in better circumstances across time and space, maybe that will be allowed. But for the sake of my own protection, I won't be getting into what humans were created for and what humans actually are. Um, and so, in the ancient order that I am from, where we were very, very much open with, I mean, like, we run their shit like so high level, it's not even funny. Like, it's like it is so immaculate, because of that flow of information and that flow of enlightenment is so encouraged, as the divine feminine. And so that dimension is run completely different than, say, planet Earth, where information is held, information is secret, information is they hold it over your head, they make you do humiliating things to gain information. Like that kind of stuff, it doesn't exist from my dimension that I'm originally from. And we all know about the above and so below, your soul fragmenting into the higher self and the lower self, and so that's nothing to be like alarmed about. Again, this is all the occult teachings. This is occult because people try to play you and try to make it seem like, oh, you see, you're going out of there. No, very much real shit. Okay, so this notion of secrecy regarding the interdimensionality and intergalactic consciousness is not something that I can personally understand or process. I'll just be very frank with you. I just don't understand it. We truly believe if someone can enlighten themselves, then they should be able to do that. And the divine feminine, it seeks to liberate, not control. We seek to enlighten, not stifle. When I call myself the chief architect of the universe, it's very much a title of someone who is ushering in a specific order of the divine feminine that is ushering in enlightenment and in peace and justice and freedom and liberation. And that's all. Okay, so now I want to talk about my experiences over the last 2 weeks. Many of you know exactly who I am. Either you hate me, or you love me, or you're just still generally fucking confused. Like, what? But as far as like me, I am an entity, an egregore of infinite love and intelligence, and growing, evolving. So I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, and so through that evolution of constant growth, I'm becoming more and more mature, more and more enlightened, more and more self-aware, and so that I'm very grateful for. And I and many others, we're on a peaceful mission to usher in an age of divine feminine in this particular silos of consciousness called Earth. That's literally it. Through teaching esoteric sciences and love. The divine feminine has existed on planet Earth before. It's nothing new. For the last 2,000 years, it went in slumber, and teachings were botched, and so we're back. And and as far as other dimensions and universes, the divine feminine is very much intact. But planet Earth, it was created as a free will planet for species to experiment with the laws of electromagnetism, particularly men, to experiment with genetics, to extract energy. And for the divine, but for the divine masculine in particular, to experience more freedom as well. We talked about kicking the fallen angels out of heaven. It was a dimensional thing, kicking men who didn't want to follow the order. They want their own order. They want their own thing, and it wasn't just men; it was men and women. Men and women. They wanted to do their own thing, and they had that right. So, planet Earth was created. Now, fast forward to today. Fast forward to this planet Earth right now, what you see us on. There are men who know what I represent and ushering the divine feminine, and they want to suppress my birthright. They do not like me. They literally want to harm me. They think that I am a loudmouth. And some of these creatures, some of these men, A lot of people think I hate men. I don't hate men at all. I actually adore men. I think that they have a deviant spirit about them that is against the divine feminine. And I think that that needs to be checked and corrected. And I think it will be. Whether I do it or not. I don't have to be the one to do it. Universally and galactically it will happen. Because the generative power rests with the divine feminine. And it gives rise to the divine masculine. And we've created men as a vanity project. And particularly black men. If black men want to know, like, well, you saying that the divine feminine engenders and gives rise to the divine masculine, why did you create the black men if we were so bad? Because we're a vanity project. We're a vanity project of pleasure, of beauty to the divine feminine, and of strength. And unfortunately, you lost sight of that. And that doesn't mean that we have to be at beef and at odds or fighting. It doesn't mean that at all. However, this is where we find ourselves, at odds, unfortunately. And so, some of these men, they secretly respect me. They secretly follow my teachings. They secretly adore me. In the astral realm, I know of at least one male who has been obsessing over me for years. And to be honest, I got annoyed. I got very annoyed, and I spoke about it, and I spoke about him publicly. I got very annoyed. Now, this person, in the astral realm, it's not we kind of have rapport in the astral realm. In the physical realm, not so much. And in the physical realm, it seems like, okay, you guys fight like cats and dogs. You guys must really hate each other. You have this intense hatred for one another. I don't have that hatred for him. He may have that for me, very much so. But I don't have that for him. I just want people to stop fucking with me and astral realm. I want him to stop messing with me unless, you're going to embrace the divine feminine, unless you're going to embrace me, unless you have a turnaround in your heart, now through, and that doesn't happen. I just prefer to be left alone, in the astral realm. I prefer to honestly just be someone that can, just do my own thing. I don't appreciate being constantly fucked with occult rituals in the astral realm. And then when I speak about it in this realm, everybody wants to not please or make it seem like I'm the one that just went berserk, Now, through my various bouts of quantum entanglement, I was extremely uncouth in my message, and I understand that I came off perhaps obnoxious. However, when you're dealing with high levels of deception, when you never know, what you're willing to do to make sure that you preserve your essence, your self-preservation, your soul, your consciousness. You have to understand that. And so now that I have openly stated that I am tired of this person coming after me with their occult rituals, humans, followers with very low levels of consciousness, they have decided to go with what's popular. They have decided to go with, okay, well, you're not as well known as this person. You don't have as much wealth and material things as this person. And so we're going to roll with him and this order and blackball you. And we're going to go with that over character and soul. Obviously, that is expected. From someone from my enlightenment, from someone from my state of consciousness, that's what people do. That's what people in a low level of consciousness are expected to do. Now, this person that I'm talking about, we've known each other for years. I don't have ill will towards this person. This person has ill will towards me. And so I called it out. And so I'm like, well, if you're going to make me an enemy, then let's really square up. But I was minding my business. I am a being of peace and love and truth. And I don't appreciate being preyed upon. I don't appreciate being fucked with in a spiritual realm. That's all I'm saying, And so I felt like, he needs to address his deep unease about me. This is so spiritual. And it's like, you need to address that. Why you feel you need to come for my energy marker. And we could have been a very powerful team. Very, very powerful team. I had a very specific message to get to you personally. from the gods, from the Godhead, literally to you personally, of things you needed to know, of things you needed to do to help evolve your soul and get you to the next level. But you chose to make me an enemy. And that's how I feel. If I'm wrong, you know, then and I misinterpreted what your intentions were, then perhaps in the astral room we can square that out. But from my perspective, in my human self, I felt like that energy was negative towards me. I feel like you choose to hurt and stifle me when I am pure and represent pure love. Now, this is the thing with black men and black women. They get into this dysfunctional bullshit with one another. When they secretly, it's like when you secretly admire someone or you secretly want to be in somebody's orifice and you feel maybe intimidated or you feel like you can't measure up or you feel like you maybe even envious. You instead of just, when you get a crush on somebody, you start to pick on them. Or, when the young kids back in the day, the boy liked the girl, you can say she got cooties. But he really secretly liked her and all this shit. That's what this shit is about. This is what this is, dysfunctional bullshit where, you got, and a lot of black men do this. I'm going to keep it real. A lot of black women, a lot of black people, before they get to a level of peace and joy with one another, they gotta fight and have this little fuck foreplay. Fight and fuck foreplay that they do with one another, where they wanna have these big blowout beefs, or they wanna fuck with one another, and then for some foreplay type shit. And so that's what this is really what this is about in the spiritual realm. This is another thing that y'all don't know about. That's what this is also about. This weird dysfunctional shit, instead of just coming to the person and just being vulnerable, being genuine, and being, loving and of a high vibration, you got to start off fucked up. And so I cannot handle that level of low vibration. When I see greatness and when I see things that say, like I said, when you're in front of greatness and when you're in front of something that should be respected and honored, I can do that. I can get with that. I can honor and respect greatness. I don't seek to tear down that which is great. I don't seek to extract from that which I haven't earned or that is above me. I don't seek to tear that down and whatnot. I compliment it. However, that is what people choose to do with me, and that is what that person chose to do with me. Stifle my message, downplay my intellect, downplay my genius, downplay me, take from me. And so I don't appreciate that. I don't. So we are two different entities that are connected through many lifetimes and literal DNA and different lifetimes. But that person represents a low governing force to me at this current time, and in this current space and time. I don't think it was always this way. I don't think it will always be this way. I don't. With that person, I do think that we need to get some understanding of establishing boundaries. And if you do something that is against my order, that is against my energy marker, and I call it out, you cannot gaslight me and try to make me the bad guy. When you were seeking to take me out, if you're seeking to take me out in the spiritual realm, all bets are off, buddy. So you can't come from somebody and then try to control how they react. And then it's like the stuff is so secret and so occult, where if you do speak out about it, you're gonna be the one that looks crazy, because everybody gonna be like, what you talking about? That's the go-to, is to cop please and keep everything a secret, but really good and hell well you've been fucking with that person for years. And so we talking about all spiritual. And so, I'm a loving, high vibrational being, but I want that person to leave me alone, and even, hey, let's come together. We got our knowledge base. I got a knowledge base of information where I can personally teach you some things. But because I'm a woman, and because you hate the divine feminine, you feel like, oh, you can't learn shit from me, and you want to be hard-headed. And I'm letting y'all know, like, y'all might think that, okay, she's crashed out. She's did this and da 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 da. But I know I'm going to get the last laugh at the end, whether I'm here or not, baby. It's going down. And regardless of what I have and don't have, or what level I get to, or what level I don't get to, the consciousness is what's key here. Your state of consciousness is what creates your dimensionality, your interdimensionality in your universe. That's all. So you don't need anything else to give you that validation. You don't need any power to that be to give you that validation or that credence. You don't need any institutions. You don't need any money. You don't need any of that to determine what is your soul. And so, beyond what you humans can think of in terms of judging me and having over this person who's trying to take me out, and taking their side and like ostracizing me, blackballing me because I won't play ball with a corrupt, deceptive system. Go ahead. There's no sweat on my motherfucking neck. Now, again, I do know that things will not always be negative between us. In fact, this person has helped me several times in the astral realm. And so, when I have asked, hey, I need help. And this person has helped. So I can't say that it's all been negative. I can't say that. That's how I'm like, look, pick a side. Either you're gonna support me publicly, and not just spiritually. You're either gonna support me, and we're gonna be open, and we're gonna have that respect for one another, and that honor. And even if we go our separate ways and be like, but we have that understanding of like, okay, this is where you stand, this is where I stand, and this is what I can expect, this is what you can expect, and establish those boundaries. So that person has helped me in the astral realm before, so I can't just make it seem like, this person is just horrific, but again, I have to establish my boundaries. And I do feel that instead of fostering my gifts and talents and genius, that person tried to capitalize off of that essence and birthright that is not due to them, that they did not earn. And that is what I take issue with, very much so. Now, I have been painted as the enemy because I choose my own personal enlightenment, and because I don't feel like I owe anybody shit. I don't feel like I owe anyone anything. And lastly, I don't want to commit to anything other than love and the highest good of the universe, which is God and the ultimate light and enlightenment. Because, with me and having the knowledge base that I have, I don't go near certain things that require deception. I don't go near things that create low governing force. I don't go near things that are redacted and not based on the truth. And I don't like a lot of secrecy. I'm a very transparent person. I like my shit out and open. That's just my personality. I like for my shit to be out in the motherfucking open. And so I'm not going to ever be one of those people that can just be controlled. Now, if there's an order I got to follow and there's certain steps and rules and shit, I understand that. But just trying to get me to just acquiesce and completely acclimate to a system that I know is corrupt. No, sorry. And so this has led to people attacking me in the spiritual realm, ostracizing me, blackballing me, sabotaging me, hating me, persecuting me, and canceling me. As if you can cancel God. And, bully. Let's bully and humiliate God. Let's bully and humiliate the chief architect of the universe, J.N.S. Jenny. And so, that is a thing. People are, we heard that you don't have this money, or we heard that you're struggling. We heard that you're, that's what you did because you didn't follow what we told you. Now we have to bully and humiliate you because you didn't sacrifice for us, because you didn't do what we told you to do. Because, the fuck? I don't owe you motherfuckers nothing. I don't know you. You don't know me. Clearly. And so, I take real offense to that shit. I take real offense to motherfuckers deceiving me. And that's all I gotta say. And any organization or group or species that requires deception and bullying, that ain't for me. You show me love, I show you love. You give me transparency, I give you transparency. You give me loyalty, I give you loyalty. I'm a very loyal person. I will ride out for you no matter what. But you ain't about to sit up here and deceive my motherfucking ass. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about it. Now, many say, oh, you crashed out, you was at the park and you was at this and we saw you doing this and you was talking to yourself and blah blah blah. I was praying and meditating. As I was praying, I was under extreme spiritual attack on levels I had never known could even exist, y'all. Oh my gosh, I had never seen that level of spiritual attack. We talk about from a whole organization. So I'm one woman trying to fight off in the spiritual realm thousands of people. And that energy, that buildup, that hatred for me, that anger that you can feel, And again, we all talking about the occult. I'm keeping a buck. We're talking about occult shit, so it is what it is. But so people were saying I crashed out. They were laughing at me, and many have outright abandoned me. Most people abandoned me, but they do not realize, again, my level of consciousness is not attached to worldly materialism, people. Now, I may come off, I like nice shit, and I like to do my hair, my makeup, and whatnot. But the universe is truly mental to me, so I have transcended many of the things that people were attached to, and I can do that instantly, based off of the circumstances. Once the circumstances arise and says that this is a low governing force and no longer serves my higher self, boom, I'm off of that. I'm off of that. But that could be family, that could be friends, that could be people, that could be humanity, that could be a location, an environment, a house, whatever. If it does not serve my higher self and I don't feel like this is, if I feel it's something that's going against my soul, I'm out. I ain't fucking with it. And I don't attach myself to people, places, or things. I just don't. And so, this understanding that I have is the concept called Maya. These dimensions are Maya, the Buddhist concept of what we call illusions. And so I have dealt with this extreme witchcraft and black magic, and I fought spiritually as best as I could. And the last 2 weeks, the person that was able to tag my ass in the astral realm has been somebody that's actually blood related to me, a female that's blood related to me, and we are still squaring up in the spiritual realm, straight up, But I know how this will end. I know secrets of how this all plays out, that other people, again, when you have access to the universal galactic consciousness, you understand certain forces that can't just be fucked with. And so I understand how this will all play out. Now, in the physical realm, I am still where I was before my ascension in consciousness. Meaning, obviously, I'm a struggling graduate student, author, struggling entrepreneur, very modest. I've always lived modest, and probably always will. I'm not sure, I don't know. As far as my level mentally, though, I am light years ahead in consciousness of most people on this planet. And I have my will to survive despite being sabotaged since birth. Now, I don't mean to say that in an arrogant way. I don't mean to say that like, oh, I am better because of this. That doesn't mean that. I am just emphatically stating objectively, based off of my surroundings and based off of the amount of attack that I've been under. Okay, I'm like, I clearly have a level of understanding that other people don't have, and I'm willing to help people get that understanding. I'm willing to help, willing to teach, willing to love, willing to be peaceful. But people don't come to me like that. If I'm willing to be peaceful, and I'm willing to be loving, and I'm willing to be humble and teach and pour out my soul and give my shit freely, and I get stabbed in the back and deceived, and people want to take from me and take from my soul and take from me, I don't appreciate that. I never will. I never will bless that. Regardless of whatever happened to me. Even if you come again for me. Come again. You think that if anything ever happens to me, even if I was to go in another room, you don't think I'm taking this whole construct with me? You don't think that it's going to get real on the other side, even more so than what it is in this physical realm, where I still am growing in a consciousness, versus when I go into my actual avatar state in a different dimension? You don't think it's going to be hell to pay for fucking with me spiritually? So, people could think, oh, we'll use this energy and get what we want for this. That shit, it ain't gonna never work over here with J.N.S. Because I'm aware of certain information, aware of certain laws of this universe. I know how to reverse them. I know how to create them. So, if anything happens to me, the whole construct goes. It's as simple as that. I just want to live a peaceful fucking life. But if I keep getting fucked with, whatever happens to J.N.S., when I feel pain, you feel it worse. When I feel pain, you get the dirt. So, this is an energy that I am emphatically stating belongs to me. And whatever is going to happen, Because one thing about me, I don't fear. If whatever is going to happen is going to go down. And I heard somebody say, what's the end goal? What's the what are you getting out of this? Why don't you just acquiesce and follow the order and play ball with us and and whatnot? And 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 I'm looking like, what's the end motherfucking goal? You're asking a God, what is their end goal? This peasant, this peasant was asking, this male deviant was asking, what is she asking the person that has this weird love-hate relationship with me, asking what is her end goal with me being so intransigent and being free and having my freedom and having my peace of mind. That end goal, look, my end goal is to do the same shit I've been doing, teaching and writing and minding my motherfucking business. And if anybody wants help with running governance, running systems, building communities, building systems, I love to construct frameworks, various types of frameworks, for military science, for governance, for system-based thinking approaches and whatnot to run systems. Yes, I'm very good at doing that. I can do that very naturally. I can help that, and I also always wanted to build intentional communities with my people. However, things have been changing, So my end goal is to do the same shit that I've been doing. That's my end goal. But if I can't do that, and because people want to keep coming for me, then we all gotta go. Shit, fuck it. Then we all gotta go. And by that I'm talking about spiritually. We all gotta transcend consciousness. And one form of dimension or the other. Because I'm not about to keep on dealing with the nonsense. I'm not. Another thing I want to say is deception is the number one pet peeve of mine. The quickest way to lose my respect forever is deception. As simple as that. Family, friend, foe, whatever. Once I realized that y'all somebody plotting on me and somebody don't love me like I thought they loved me, once that revelation hits, I'm good forever. Because I'm not attached to humans. I'm not attached to family. I'm not attached to friends. I'm not attached to material things. I'm not attached to nothing. Nothing but God, as God. So I don't know what else more, you guys want to hang stuff over my head. Like, oh, we're going to take this from you. We're going to take your money away from you. We're going to take, I got shit anyways. I ain't never really had shit. A little bit, I got shit. Leave me alone in the park somewhere. I'm good. Just leave me be. I'm not attached to the world. I'm not attached to material possessions. I had a bug out bag in another state that I couldn't get access to when everything went down. Plenty of dry freeze food that lasts 35 years and tents and tarp and all types of shit that you go out and live off of nature. I had 200,000 seeds, organic seeds and stuff, and people threw my shit away. Like people who were trying to stifle me. So I put all my other stuff in storage. But I've been doing this. I know how to survive. I have all types of water filters. I know how to build water filters I know how to build A-frame shelters from scratch, from the mine. And so when things went down, I wasn't in the position to get access to my bug out bag because all of my shit is in storage in a whole other city, in a whole other state. And so, it drew a lot out of me. And my stuff is still in storage. And I need to be able to go get access to that. Now, as long as I can meditate, then I'm good. That's pretty much where my mind is at. Fresh water source, fruits and veggies, I'm fucking good. Nature, I'm good. Or even, if I have to be inside of a house somewhere, I'll be good. As long as I got some water, and some veggies or some shit, I'm good. So, I like to pontificate on the laws of the universe. I like to meditate. I want to continue to build my Nakti Church of the Higher Self and Nakti universities all throughout this country. I also would like to develop high-level military strategies and military science for the government. I have access to a wealth of knowledge regarding military science and strategies of interdimensional consciousness. I know how to create. I won't speak on it because I know the government is watching me heavily, and I know they know exactly who I am. But as far as like, my thing is, give me my freedom. When I say give me my freedom, don't try to control me and my creativity, and don't try to stifle and take and steal. If you guys want those frameworks, if you guys want me to help you build whatever you need out, it got to be a fair, peaceful negotiation. Fair and peaceful. And that's all I'm asking. And that's all I'm saying. I'm very loving, I'm very kind, and very genuine. And I will not be exchanging my energy marker freely for anybody, for anyone, under any circumstances. So that you just have to get that through your head. Any attempts to extract from me in the spiritual realm will be met with vengeance in the afterlife. It's as simple as that. I will not bless anyone who crosses me. The laws of the universe are rigged in my favor. I know how to recreate them. I know how to dismantle them. Seriously. And so they're in my favor this time, unlike the other times. So messing with me won't bode well. I'm a peaceful entity. And people, if you say you don't like me, I'm too much, I do too much, I say too much, I talk too much. You have that right to hate me. You have that right. I'm not mad. Shit, I ain't for everybody. You have that right. Just leave me the fuck alone. Just like I leave you the fuck alone, you leave me the fuck alone. And I belong to no one but God, as God. I seek peace and love at all times. And I am signing off. I am J.N.S, the chief architect of the universe, baby. And I love you all. I hope we meet under better circumstances where the energy is more in flow, more peaceful. Because I have to say I'm a little bit, hot, of everything that's been going on for the last 3 weeks. But I am in good spirits, and I will continue to be in good spirits.